This is our next, this is what I wanted to bring our next guest out, and there's a couple of regulations. One, or things we came up with. He had to be gentle, fitting in with the theme. He had to have a beard, fitting in with the theme. And he had to do something totally unexpected. And this is what we decided, all of us on the team. We said, wouldn't it be cool, all of us today and tonight, our lives are only going to get busier from now till the holidays. There's going to be shopping, and there's going to be family obligations, and there's going to be all kinds of rush, and we're going to feel rushed, and we never get the chance to just relax until then. So we thought what we would do is we would take 2 minutes now to just relax. And we're going to give you guys the opportunity to do that with somebody that usually we don't get to relax with as adults. So here, just to tell us a story, just for us, would you put your hands together for Santa Claus? Hey!
People, most of you anyway. Yes, I come here to read you a little story because you know, 1 month tonight is the busiest night of the year for me. I'm going to be busier than a one-legged guy in a butt-kicking contest. I can tell you that much. Now, I'm going to read you a little story, and I'm going to read it as fast as I can because it's a bit lengthy. So I'm going to take my gloves off here so I get a better grip on the whole thing. How you boys doing over there?
Good.
I heard about some naughty stuff going on out here, but that's okay. That's okay. Now, this is a book called How Murray Saved Christmas, and I'm going to read it real fast. It's by Mike Rice. It's a beautiful little book, and it's done in rhyme. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and at the North Pole, Santa was rocking and ready to roll. His seat belt was buckled, his reindeer were fed, and 5 billion toys were stuffed into his sled. There were dolls that said mama, and dolls that said goo, dolls that made music, and dolls that made poo. There were dolls that grew tall at the push of a button, and a doll, best of all, that didn't do nothing. He revved up his reindeer about to take off when all of a sudden he heard a small cough. Santa, could I have your attention? It was Edison Elf with his latest invention. Now, Edison thought of himself as a tinkerer, but, well, as a tinkerer, he was much more of a stinkerer. My Jack-in-the-Boxer belongs on your list. It's a Jack-in-the-Box with a fabulous twist. So Santa tried it, and oh, what a trick! A boxing glove popped out and knocked out St. Nick. He wobbled, he bobbled, his face turned bright red. A lump like a sugar plum rose from his head. Santa, cried Eddie. Well, Eddie dressed him in jammies and put him to bed and worried just who would bring presents instead. Then a card fluttered down out of Santa's right mitten, and on it in round gold letters was written, for special delivery, call Murray Kleiner, owner of Murray K's Holiday Diner. Now Santa and all of the holiday bunch would come into Murray's for breakfast or lunch. You might see George Washington eating and drinking on President's Day with Abraham Lincoln. Cupid loved bagels, the groundhog, the chili, the Thanksgiving turkey would stuff himself silly. And you might wonder, how did Santa get fat? Just thank Murray's chocolate chip cheesecake for that. But lunchtime was past, it was late Christmas Eve. Murray had closed and was ready to leave when Ed parked the sleigh and he hollered to Murray, I need a delivery and I'm in a big hurry. Murray said, I can make you whatever you wish, a nice piece of fish or a spinach knish. But who are you, Shorty, and where is St. Nick? Edison sobbed, I made Santa Claus sick, and now I need you to deliver some toys to 200 countries to two good girls and boys. Just put on this red suit and get in the sleigh. What are you, cuckoo, cried Murray. No way. Give me one reason to schlep through the snow, bringing billions of presents to kids I don't know. Will anyone pay me? Will anyone tip? What if I slip and I fracture my hip? Look out the window. It's cold and it's shivery. Why in the world should I make this delivery? Because it's Christmas, Ed. Christmas, you know, is that one special season when people do things without a good reason. The grouchiest men will wear musical ties and buy Christmas presents for folks they despise. The cheapest of cheapskates will spend all his money, and people make fruitcakes from concrete and honey. Christmas works magic, and Edison knew it. You're not playing fair, Mary grumped, but I'll do it. How you liking it so far? Yeah. All right, okay, just checking. Murray put on the suit. The belly was baggy, the shoulders were saggy, the bottom was draggy. I'm fat, Murray said, but it seems Santa's fatter. The caboose is quite loose, but I guess it won't matter. Then he hopped to the sleigh, which sped off like a comet, causing Murray to holler, "Slow down or I'll vomit." I've got just one rule, but shorty, it's basic. If you go too fast, then I'm bound to get sleigh sick. Well, they made their first stop. Eddie feared the worst. Murray fell down the chimney and landed tush first. He didn't come back till 2:15 when Eddie cried, "Murray, what happened to you?" Murray shrugged. "By the fireplace, kids hung up socks. So I loaded the socks up with bagels and lox." They went to the next house. It didn't go better. Murray got hit by a big Irish setter. He stepped on a turtle at house number 3. At house number 4, he knocked over the tree. "I'm old and I'm cold and this suit doesn't fit. If the next stop goes badly," said Murray, "I quit." The elf couldn't blame him. Poor Murray had tried. You're gonna do great," little Edison lied. Murray jumped down the chimney and landed so hard, the thud knocked the snow off the trees in the yard. He got to his feet with an oof and an oi and found himself facing a 6-year-old boy. The boy exclaimed, "Santa," and Murray said, "Where?" "Oh, right, you mean yes, I'm Santa, I swear." "Get a load of this laugh." "Ho, ho, ho," Murray chuckled. But just as he chuckled, his belt came unbuckled, and his pants, which were loose, went straight down past his knees. Murray Kleiner was stitched on his silk BVDs. "You sure you're Santa? You don't have a beard. Your suit is all baggy. You smell kind of weird." "I shaved off the beard. Mrs. Claus said it tickles, and I went on a diet, club soda and pickles. That should explain why I'm beardless and bellyless. The pickles would also account for my smelliness. So there, I've explained. I've made everything clear." And then the boy asked him to name his reindeer. Murray hemmed and he hawed. He didn't know this stuff. So he huffed and he puffed and he proceeded to bluff. "There's Dumbo and Jumbo and Mason and Dixon, Cosmo and Kramer and Richard M. Nixon." Murray looked at him hopefully. "How did I do?" "You're a fake," the boy cried. "I guess Santa is too." Murray said, "Well, there's a Santa and I've got the proof." They went out to the lawn and looked up on the roof. "That's Santa's sleigh sitting there in the snow. There's the toys and the reindeers whose names I don't know." "Oh, this is real, kid. It's wrestling that's fake." And that's when the boy knew he made a mistake. This just wasn't some smelly guy in a suit, but an honest-to-goodness St. Nick substitute. And when the boy smiled, Murray felt a strange tingle. He knew for one night that he could be Kris Kringle. "Ho, ho, ho," Murray laughed, and he patted his head, and he fixed him a lean pastrami sandwich and sent him to bed. You get hungry doing this.
Yeah, I am too.
Then Edison asked if he still felt like quitting. "Quitting?" cried Mary. You gotta be kidding. "Enough of that talk. We got toys to deliver. We can't sit around like 2 lumps of chopped liver." From Nome to Rome and from Omsk to Atlanta, they handed out presents more quickly than Santa. "You did a good job," Eddie said, and he smiled. "Tonight you brought presents to every good child." "Well, let's not stop," Murray said. "We have time, we have toys. Why can't we bring them to bad girls and boys?" That would make this audience happy. All right. So a kid might be lazy, he might be a slob, he drives his folks crazy, but that's sort of his job. Ed heard what he said, and he couldn't resist. They brought toys to the naughty, a very long list. A toboggan for Ogden, who played sick from school and drove his dad's Pontiac into the pool. For Brooke, a good book since she broke the TV, the VCR, PC, and every CD. And a jet plane for Dwayne, a mischievous fellow who filled the girls' toilets with blueberry jello. Murray brought presents to all not-so-good kids, the rude and the crude and the misunderstood kids. And people said Christmas was never so pleasant as the year when all of the world got a present. Murray said, "Well, there's nothing for us in this sack." So he gave Ed a hug, and Ed gave him one back. "You know, you're a nice guy," said Edison Elf. "Thanks," Murray said. "You're not half bad yourself. On lipstick, on dipstick, on Pixie and Dixie, on Cramden and Norton and Alice and Trixie." And Edison said as they rolled out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
Yay! Now, Santa, before you go, and you can just talk into that mic.
All right.
I know you have to go because it's a busy season for you.
The elf's
obviously.
got it in hand for tonight. I'm okay.
And we wanted to do this because we thought, when do we, as adults, get to hang out with you? You get to hang out with kids all the time. What is it like for you to be with kids? I mean, I know there's some that cry and some that pee, because that's what they do.
Some adults do that too.
What is it like? Is it Gary again? I know. What is it like to have kids look at somebody? I mean, you must bring so much joy. What does that feel like?
You know, it's the best feeling in the world. I got to tell you that, folks. When you can bring a smile to anybody, whether the kid's 2 or 92, it's a very, very wonderful thing. It's the unconditional love that you can get from a child that is something that is quite rare. And kids having to grow up so much sooner nowadays, it's always nice to be able to get that smile and get that twinkle in the eye. It's a great job to be able to do things like that. You know, making presents, whether it's big or it's small, or even just a little bit of a hug. That's what makes us all happy. So I want everybody here just to make something. Let's make everybody a little bit happier here, all right? I want you to turn to the next person next to you and give them a hug. There we go. That's good. Come on. That's right. See, doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good? The spirit of Christmas is just like that. And it's so easy. It's so easy. Next time you're out shopping and you got somebody a little bit less behind you in the line there, let them take your place. See that person behind you? Buy them a coffee. Open the door for somebody. They don't have to be old. Give up your seat for somebody. Little things like that, that's the Christmas spirit. That's what makes people happy.
Santa Claus, everybody!
Their eyes light up.
Understandable.
The puppets are props.
Orgies do that. Orgies do that.
If you're going to be in an orgy, though, here's my thought. I'd rather be with a bunch of gymnasts than a bunch of...